Hi everyone, thank you for coming to lab today. Is the final day for module 1, week 1 of Surge 2502. So just to recap what we did in lab today, we went over the subcutaneous running suture stitch and with the deep buried knot. So you'll notice when you guys do submit your final competency video along with your practice lab, you are putting these two competencies together. Just to kind of recap, when you guys do click onto the competency directions, you do not have to print them out. This is just to give you a guideline on what I will be checking off when I do go over your final competency videos. So here is the video that we did look over during lab, which I will also be sending you guys a playlist of the videos via text. And here is your competency for subcuticular stitch. For the morning session, we were not able to go over the steri strips, but if you please, for the morning session, if you could please just go over placement of steri strips. I'm sure as experienced surgical technologists, you have already done the placement of steri strips. Just like the previous competencies, here is the video that we did go over in class today, as well as a picture of what a subcuticular running stitch or incision should look like afterwards. All right. So the best incision on your SimVivo board that you should be practicing for the subcuticular for now is going to be the one that has the markers where it looks like a railroad track. And I numbered my incision just so it was easier for me to show you guys where you should be going for each step. So your first step is going to be somewhere along the edge, you're going to take the dermis and subcutaneous tissue, and you're going to take your needle, you're going to go in where the apex of the incision is, apex meaning tip, and you're going to go along this incision line, tying your knot per usual, so double surgeon's knot, and then your simple square knot. All right, with your scissors, you're going to cut the excess off and reload your needle. A lot of people will do this backhanded depending on where you're standing. Sometimes you do not have to backhand it, but since I am standing at the base of this incision, I will often backhand it. And you're gonna actually backhand your needle from the point where you ended your incision, and you're going to aim for the very apex of the incision, which again is the beginning or tip. From there, you guys, you're going to reload your needle like you usually would, and you can see that I have this numbered. I have from this notch to this notch marked as 1. On the other side, from this notch to this notch marks 2. So this is the order in which I will be going with my needle and suture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off at the part of the skin, just take my needle and go through that complete width from the apex to this first notch. I'm going to reload my needle, and because we're going on the other side, I know that it can feel a little funny or unusual to be driving your needle from the other side because you're just not used to it. So I ended on this notch, So I'm going to start on the same notch, but on the other side of the incision. Again, going from one end to the other. And I will tell you guys that where your forceps is kind of another way of guiding. Go on the other side now. Oops. Go from where you ended, but now on the other side. Oops. Pull through. And you should notice that it is a kind of snake-like pattern. You want to make sure you adequately tighten it as you go, especially if that patient's skin is already kind of frail. You don't want to do a final pull through at the very end. You want to pull as you go. Again, I'm going to show that it is closing, all right? Once you get to the very end of your incision, you're going to backhand load your needle. You're going to start from the apex and go through your epidermis and subq. And actually, do it one, I did a mistake there because my suture is actually a little too short. So you're going to go through your epidermis and you're going to end up in the middle of your incision. You want to make sure that you leave a loop. This loop is what you're going to use to tie. So just like how you've learned to instrument tie, you double your knot, go away, toward, away. And what some people will do is they will actually cut this little loop. If your loop is small enough, what some people will also do is they will put the string through or the suture through, and then your final thing to do is go directly into the incision, out past the incisional line, and theoretically this should bury into the wound. If not, a lot of the times you can bury it. From there, you would cut your excess. This is a form of continuous suturing, and your goal as a beginner should be less than 5 minutes. However, because it is a running stitch, it should be between 2.5 to 3 minutes. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please review your videos and submit your final competency video and practice log by this Sunday.